And that's how we kick this off. What do we want to talk about today? Do we want to dive into your pull request or talk about what we've been shipping?
Both. Let's try to knock them out both out. You start.
Today, I have been getting the Instagram scraper, scraping all fans instead of just a 30-second subset, batch uploading profile pictures from Instagram onto Arweave to speed up that process, and finally getting following from Instagram, which we haven't been scraping for all the social profiles. So I got all that done this morning.
We're getting following?
We're now getting following. Following is in the number, not the list of people.
Got it.
Before that number was null, now it's a number. The question is, are we ready? Have we scraped the data that we need in order for you to move on to segment name generation? My current thought is this afternoon I'm going to focus on segment name generation. The two things I'm going to be doing: one, update the segment name generation right now. It only includes comment text, does not include the username, does not include the bio, does not include the number of followers or following for the person leaving the comment, which is all context we can use to generate niche segment names. So one, include all the social data. The other is updating the prompt to try to get the segment names that we want to be more niche and along like chess. Your music is featured in chess streamers, whatever that text is that we did. That's where I'm thinking I'm going this afternoon, unless we come up with more things that need to be refined on scraping before I move there.
I vote move on, but I vote don't forget about scraping followers. Like that's going to be a differentiator, and I know it's a blocker. So let's see how well we can improve segment chats with what we've done, and also kind of, I'm sure you've been you're itching to move on to something new besides scraping. So yeah, let's see where we're at, but let's please let's not forget all followers.
Followers list for Instagram.
When I say followers list, I mean, yeah, like diving into each the followers and then diving into their profiles, scraping that. Yeah. But let's see where we're at with segments. Let's see how fun we can get. In the Figma file for segments, I included a starter prompt that you may or may not want to use, but it just gives you. It's in Figma. Let me see if. Yeah. You want to share your screen?
Yep.
You want me to share?
Nope, I got it.
So I used Claude's prompt generator to kind of talk through, if you go to, segment v2. So I talked through what makes a good segment, what makes a bad segment. I used Claude's prompt generator, improver, to start this. So it just gives you some place to start when it comes to that prompt, but you can or can't use it, but whatever you want to do, it's just a starting guide.
Making a note to update segments to include opportunity.
If you scroll to the right, I have two variations on this. One is with the opportunity, and then also just a couple more data, PFPs, et cetera. The one on the left is the max data, right? If that's like what ideal situation. On the right is the simplified version, to just get started with. This is like already the data we have, it seems like, right? Where you wouldn't need to create the opportunity and stuff.
Right.
So if you want to get started with min data and hit max data if you can, or fuck around with it, but like give you the two options so that we don't have a version where there's incorrect data because there's a placeholder and we don't have it.
I'll work on getting the data so that we can support the card on the left instead of opting to do the card on the right.
That'd be fire.
So we need opportunity. I don't see opportunity on the left. Is opportunity action plus partner plus audience? AKA you want action, partner, and audience instead of opportunity?
It can say, yeah, exactly. Like the opportunity, like the format is like a specific action with a specific partner or collaborator, and then the quantified audience. So if you scroll to the left, there's examples of what that means. So the specific act on the green check mark one, good opportunity sentence. Feature your tracks. I'm sorry, my dogs are barking.
Okay.
Ruru, stop. Feature your tracks is the action. GM Heroku's chess tournaments is the partner. To reach 500K chess players is the audience. So it's the sentence is split into those three segments. And then you can see examples of bad ones, which is like licensed to popular fitness brands, like, or, you know, shitty versions of, if it's not a real opportunity. And then the fun part is at the bottom, if you look at example of fake opportunities, is when I was running through this scenario with the LLM, sometimes it would come up with these fake opportunities, which seems like they're good, but they're actually bad and don't provide value. So a example would be right there, provide background music for Peloton's new workout series to reach 1.5 million fitness enthusiasts. While that achieves all of those sections, the action, the audience, etc., the provide background music is too obvious. Like Peloton it's too big of a company. It's not gonna, nobody's gonna actually be able to get Peloton. You know what I'm saying? And then obviously there's 1.5 million fitness enthusiasts. So just trying to lay out like, how can we turn what might be seems to be a good opportunity sentence, but the reality is it's not truly something people can be actionable on. So we have to figure out how to get the LLM to disregard those things or change them into opportunities that are real. I know that was a lot of information, so I'll let you sit with that. And like I said, let's just see where we get this afternoon first.
Copy.
Awesome job on scraping, though.
Have you tested it?
No, I have not. I've been knees deep in linear, and I just want to reverse everything I've ever done to you and say, I'm sorry. Because, bro, I'm in linear, breaking up all of my ideas into the smallest ticket possible and realizing that, like, when we're on an hour-long call and I'm throwing 1,000 ideas at you, how terrible it must feel to, in your head, be trying to break them into smaller tickets and then put them into order of sequence and dependency. Like, so yeah, I want to say I'm sorry and I feel you. And I'm so glad that I've gone through this exercise this past week and not let Ziad take over these edits, because it's just been a complete overhaul of learning and respect for what you guys are doing.
What have you been learning?
That everything is dependent on each other, and yeah, just everything's dependent on each other. I looked at the PRs that I opened up at the beginning of the week, and then realized that like half of them don't need to be there anymore because the change that I made on the other one reflected it, and and then I was doing all of these other edits. So yeah, just making it very, very simple. And so that's what I've been doing over the past couple hours, is just making a bunch of linear tickets that are very specific to what I need to get done for the chat improvements. There's a lot of them, but I've just been filtering like by P0 so that I have all the ones that are P3s in the pipeline, and I don't forget about them, but like we don't see all of them. So yeah, I'm going to keep doing that, and then I'll just start shipping the ones that matter, which are the P0s. And then on Fridays, we can go through and clean it up and see if we need to keep or delete stuff. Do you want to go through the PR right now? Do we have time?
Yeah, let's do it.
Sweet. So I did everything. The one thing actually I haven't checked since is looking at Superbase.
Only
And
base migrations. Nice.
so the one thing I don't see in Superbase is the PR. Oh, yeah. No. Manage branches. Yeah, I don't see the branch in Superbase UI. So I don't know if we need to create a branch or if it's supposed to automatically identify it.
It should do it automatically if we have a migration. Okay, it looks like we did skip Superbase preview, which tells me that we are hooked up now. So I think you did it all right. The best thing we would want to do to check would be to make a new migration and see if the migration is correct. But for now, this looks correct. The things I'm checking, one, is there any files changed outside of Superbase migrations? No. You only have one folder, so even though there's 83 files, I'm not going to read through it. It looks correct. Second, we're seeing that Superbase is at least triggering a check now, which it wasn't doing in previous pull requests. So we have all the migrations. Superbase is checking our pull request to see if it should do a deployment. I think this is good. So on my side, I'll approve it, and then it can get merged.
Yeah.
We got one merge this morning, and this is number 2 you're merging today, or did we merge that? That was yesterday that we did the other one, right?
Yeah.
Okay. You want to merge or you want me to?
I mean, you're here. We might as well, since we're running out of time.
Squash, do you have another PR you want us to go into while we're on the momentum of reviews?
Nope. I deleted all my PRs that are active so that I could reconsolidate them to make them one thing each.
Love that.
So the next PR that I am going to open is, let me pull up Linear. Update references to memories artist ID. Update all the code that references the artist ID in the memories table to use the new location in the rooms table.
And that's all in the front end chat repo, right?
Yep.
That sounds like a brilliant idea. Now that we've updated Superbase, you're going to go in and update the front end to actually read the new Superbase tables.
Correct. So that's the next P0. And then the following one is similar, which is migrate room creation to use rooms.artistid. So update the room creation logic to work with the new database structure. Those are the 2 main things. I'll probably get through more, but those are the P0s that right now are probably going to break things since we just merged the new stuff. Look at us shipping.
Both of us shipping. We've got 2 technical founders shipping code on our iterations. This is...
Bro, do you want to see Sweet? You don't even know what beast you just unlocked. You don't even shit's about to get so hard. She's about to go crazy. Look at this. Oh wait, you can't see because I'm there. Can you see now?
I see Linear. Yep, I've been watching you updating Linear. You've got tasks, just subtasks. Are you manually writing these?
Yeah. But wow. I'm going through Claude to help do it all. But right. Bro, I figured out a cool thing to do. Let me show you. Oh, wait. Oh, I gotta fix it. How do I see deleted ones?
Well, once they're, I don't know. I don't think you can.
No, there's a trash somewhere.
Try Command K.
No, don't even worry about it. I'll show you what I did. So, okay, here's an example. I realized that the chat doesn't have context. So,
Right.
For example, do you have context about the previous conversation? So it currently doesn't. Obviously, ChatGPT and Claude do, right?
Mhm.
So I created a ticket for the immediate fix, but then I used this is the cool part. I used, where is it? Oh wait, is it this ticket? Wait, I'm finding it and choose. Wait, where is my ticket? I'm sorry. I got a lot of things
Mm-hmm.
that I'm looking for. Improve chat.
If you want to search, Command K should allow you to search for anything in Linear.
Oh, here it is. I'm sorry. Improve conversation context retention is what it is. No, it's not. All right. But anyways, what I did was I went in and gave the cursor the ticket, and I had it say, go through my code base and explain to me how this currently works in my repo.
Mm-hmm.
And so it went through and explained the current implementation and then like, what's the simple fix? I then went into, this was the fire part. I then went into ChatGPT. Oh wait, maybe it's on this one. Let me see. It's on this. Yeah. Okay. I then went in here and did a deep research how chatbot applications like get formatted. So like, okay, so this one was for formatting.
Yeah.
But I then had to go do deep research on like how to take the ticket, the simple ticket,
Mm-hmm.
and do like, okay, what would this ticket look like if we're going to do like industry standards, cutting edge, everything implemented.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm taking this and throwing this into Claude and being like, okay, break this down into a bunch of little tickets, and then throwing it into Linear as like P3s. So like it's setting it up so that like we can hit the simple like fix quick, but then like we have everything's already written out so that if when we want to go robust and be like, okay, cool, like, but how would we like roll this out if we actually wanted to like spend a lot of time on this ticket? And it has like everything. The deep research has it all lined up. It's really, I don't know, it's been really insightful because it kind of, I'm usually the one to opt for like, okay, but like let's just do everything now.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
but separating it from like, okay, cool, this is what it could be if we spend a lot of time on it. This is what it absolutely needs to be tomorrow.
As of right now, are you using Roadmap and Scratchpad inside of the code base, or are you happy with your current relationship with Cursor and how it's parsing and implementing tasks?
I'm starting Scratchpads. I'm not doing roadmaps though. How are you implementing them?
I'll quickly show, and we're just showing our workflow. So when I am going into one of our apps, can you see my screen?
Yeah.
So the first thing I do is what you did. I define the linear ticket. I have my roadmap file, which just has all of the linear tickets I've ever done. And so I start and I take the linear ticket and I put it in here with a checkbox. And then I'll come over to the right and I'll double tap control. Please prepare your Scratchpad for step 51. And then when you tell it that, it reads its rules for Scratchpad. And then it'll take my ticket, look over the code base, and then it'll start writing it out inside of Scratchpad. And so I let it do its thing. I go off and do other things. And if I want to check in on its task, see, it just read its rule for the Scratchpad. And now it's searching the web for, well, I just did this task. It's searching the web for Apify documentation, and now it's updating the Scratchpad to document,
Right.
okay, here's the task, here's my next step, here's exactly what I think I'm going to be doing. And then it tells me, and then it reads off of its own Scratchpad to go and implement from here. So roadmap is where I put my tickets. Scratchpad is where it writes its understanding of my tickets and where it like operates its goals to implement. And then the right chat is where it's actually doing the idea. So I see the roadmap is my definition. Scratchpad is the operating agent that runs the overall task. And then the right agent in the chat is the actual implementation agent that just does simple like updating of lines of code.
So fire. Yeah. So and you're just putting them in root?
What, the Scratchpad or what? The Scratchpad and
Scratchpad and roadmap?
roadmap and Scratchpad are both in root. Yeah, I've got them both in the root of the project.
Fire.
And then the rules for Scratchpad is inside of the cursors, and then Scratchpad is where I put the rules for the Scratchpad.
That's
But
so great.
if you're already happy with your,
No. I'm gonna start implementing this. Do you have a 2?
my next meeting is in 50 minutes. I'm more free today than the past 2 days.
Or do you have 5 minutes to talk about the OpenAI agent SDK?
Yeah, you want to share it? Give us a high level. I saw you had a ticket for OpenAI SDK, but I haven't heard the announcement. I haven't looked at anything. What you're about to say is going to be my first understanding of OpenAI agent SDK.
Fuck yeah, let's do it. All right, cool. So OpenAI launched Agent SDK. Let's open it up. So new tools for building agents. And let me make this bigger.
Thank you.
The responses API is going to be built-in tools to include web search, file search, computer use.
Tools.
And then the agents SDK comes with all of them to orchestrate. And you can set up single agents and multi-agent workflows. So it's just basically does all of the tools that the basic framework for agents and the tools that we need will be available in this SDK. The only thing that sucks is that it's, you have to use the open AI model.
You have to use their models.
Yeah. But what I was thinking of is trying to implement this. So my question to you is, right now it's Python only. So how would you go about implementing this? Is it spinning this up in a separate repo and then like calling the agent SDK from our app? Like how can we implement this like as quick as possible and just to start throwing it in our chat to see if it improves our chat?
I recommend prototype it first, especially if it's a different language like Python that we're not using in the app. Clone the repo. Have you already cloned it and run it locally?
Not yet.
Let's start with clone it and run it locally. If it works locally and you're happy with how it works locally, I think let's get to there and talk about what next step is. Get it working locally so you have a.
Well, it's SDK, so I would just need to create a new repo and install the SDK, right?
Yeah, it's not. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Hopefully they've got it getting started in their docs for you to just like follow.
Okay, cool. So just start there, and then we'll figure out how to connect it after that.
Yeah, the current mental model right now, our agent framework is LangChain. So it sounds like Sid is proposing LangChain is not sufficient for our needs. OpenAI agent SDK is better. Sid is testing that out with a prototype in order to convince our team OpenAI agent SDK is better than open source and battle tested LangChain for agent operation and orchestration.
Yeah, I don't know if it's better. We'll test it and see. And it might be. Let's see like where it shines and where it fails. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet.
It's very exciting to hear that they have an SDK coming out. Everybody's now aligning on agent frameworks, and it's not new teams like AI16Z and Zerapi. It's the big guys finally saying, "Okay, kids, we'll take it from here."
Yeah, basically. I really like did you check out the Mana, or what's it called?
Manus?
Manus?
No, I saw the open source one that was pivoted after that, OWL.
Yeah, Owl.
I saw that. I did not. As soon as I saw that there was an open source alternative with more GitHub stars, I'm like, Manus is probably overhyped. The other one was also Python only. I sent it in a group chat with Samir, and Samir said he downloaded it and he didn't update me. But I've got my call with Samir tonight, so he'll probably tell me what he thought of it. It seems like all these frameworks are just like, hey, instead of just an LLM, we have tools now, which we already have. We have one tool, and we're adding in more, and it seems like they're just adding in more tools.
It's tools and multi-agent like communication. So like it'll be like a prompt specifically around a system prompt specifically built for X that then passes its findings to a system prompt that's specifically built for Y.
Yeah.
That then calls this tool like, so it's like almost like you have multiple system prompts like that you're passing it to like it's funny when I'm using like the front end tools like Claude or ChatGPT, I'll run things, I'll converse with it, but then like 9 times out of 10 I always end with saying like how do we make this better? This is good, but what would make this better? And so my thought process like was like, okay, cool. Like if there was just always an agent that any output that happens gets fed to another agent that's system prompt is, your goal is to look at this and make it better. And then that feeds the output back to the other agent. And then so now so it's just figuring out like what are those things that we can, the checkers, the copywriters, that are just going to be working to like just refine output or do like go do multiple tasks at once. And then you have your tool calls that kind of all enable it. But Manus is really cool just to see UI. I sent you like they have like
Is it public now, or is it still allow list only?
It's allow list only, but they have let me show you real quick. Entire screen. It's just good to see. Where is my Slack? Here it is. I'm pulling it up over here. Where did I put it in? Yeah, I think. Yeah, a gallery of replays. So you can go in and see their use cases. And like, for example, let's do campaign explanation map. And they just record what their UI looks like and what's happening.
And you like their UI. That's what you're reflecting on.
Yeah, just seeing like it's just seeing kind of how they're thinking through showing an agentic workflow to the end user.
Yeah, this looks exactly like the left side looks exactly like how Cursor goes when I'm talking to it. The right side is beautiful.
Yeah.
Are you thinking of this for our autopilot UI on Recoup?
Yeah.
Or was there something else that you were wanting to highlight that I'm missing?
No. This is what I'm thinking through is like.
And it goes for a while. That was like what, 30, 45 seconds of it thinking and doing things on its own, going back and forth with multi-agents before it finally gave an answer.
And then it gives you the answer. And then we just got to think through like, if we're going to have an autopilot that like has multiple agents always doing this shit, then like, what's the difference between autopilot that's just always running versus an agent chat that's like, you're doing the specific thing and then here's the result at the end of it, and where that lives. But I just really like you said, like their UI is very similar to Cursor on this side, but then they have like the canvas output and then also kind of like a in browser you kind of get to see all of it at the same time, which is cool.
Did you see Guillermo shared for Vercel deep thinking like this?
Yeah,
What
I
did you try it out, or did you look at it at all?
I tried it. I downloaded the repo.
What did you think of that compared to Manus?
It's fire. It's fire.
It's not as work on Vercel, right?
Wait, say it one more time.
Because that's Next.js, and we know that will work on Vercel. As opposed to OWL, which is Python, and it sounds like the OpenAI agent SDK is also Python.
I don't think that the OWL is the framework to go with. I don't think any of the open source ones that are like just surfacing. Like I downloaded another one called Anus. Like people like, so like everybody's just kind of, okay, cool, this tweet works, so I'm going to copy this tweet format and do the same thing. So like people are just spinning up their own versions and getting 100,000 views because of it. Yeah. But what I do think is we can grab all of the open source stuff and see how they're doing it, see where LangChain is different, and kind of build our own variation of it, see where OpenAI's SDK kind of shines. Because they all kind of follow the same format, which is just like explains what it's doing, thinking, approve, the cursor format. Okay, cool. Well, how are they implementing a canvas feature? When does that trigger, et cetera? So yeah, there's like it's just like a wide open right now of like figuring out how to take all of that shit and build it ourselves. It's just like a matter, I think, of like you said, running everything, downloading it all, running it, seeing what, oh, this does this really well, or oh, this does this. Like same thing that we did with Eliza, just like run it, see how it's operating, and then be like, all right, cool, we'll grab this part from it, but this part we don't need. And also, like most likely, the OpenAI is going to come out with a JS version, and everybody's going to come out with a version,
Right.
Yeah, it's going to all end up being like the end of the day is like, how do we build the agentic workflows specifically for a person? Like Manus is general, and all right, cool, that's great and all, but like figure out, okay, cool. Like I'm just excited because it's like, all right, cool. Like figure out exactly what the workflow is for a music artist, a music marketer, because Manus is not going to be able to do that shit.
No.
Within the next year or two. Like
it's too
niche, too nuanced, so I'm excited. All right, go do your thing. I appreciate you staying longer. I appreciate you working through all these kinks with me with the PRs, but I'm getting real excited.
You're doing well. You want to do the outro on here, or you want me to?
No, do the outro. You're good. You're better at it.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. If you got any value out of watching this, please click the like button, subscribe, share it. In the comments below, let us know what your favorite part of this is, or if there's anything that you've been trying out on Recoup that you want to share, please share your experience below. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow.